It's August the 11th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time to get in the weeds. No, your ears do not deceive you. My voice does sound like this right now because guess what? I have a summer cold. Thank you to my child for giving me that lovely gift as I get ready to head over to Ottawa at the end of this week. But not yet. It'll probably leave by tomorrow. I'm still here. I'm still okay. We'll get through it. Jeremy Lambert's here. He's going to get through it. How you doing, pal?
I'm well. I'm sorry you're feeling sick. Children, what can you do besides disown them?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Or get to a museum, find a Bluetooth speaker DJ set, and play inappropriate music on it.
I don't know if it was appropriate. I mean,
they dropped some F-bombs, pal.
I'm teaching kids life lessons about, the luxury but also hardships of cocaine dealing. I feel it's a museum. I'm teaching them valuable lessons here.
Move your mic closer while you're teaching valuable lessons.
Okay. Yeah, that probably would help. It's very far away.
That's okay.
Teaching kids life lessons about coke dealing, folks.
Honestly, if you went that close to the mic and just dialed it down a little bit, I'd be okay with that too. Get some real radio vibes.
I don't like going this. I don't like being like way up on the mic. I like to have it a little. I can just turn it up a little bit, and
you like having a little bit of that ambient room tone going on in the back. I get it.
I can get it closer there. Hopefully that sounds better.
It's better than, and this is listen. He knows this happens. It's better than SP3's mic that has that old school whenever he puts his phone near it. That always pops me. I'm like, I haven't heard that sound since like 2006, but he's brought it back.
I always think it's mine too. Like I think it's my headphones. But it isn't.
It's always his.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's that microphone.
Yeah, it's the mic, and I don't know if he says like a Bluetooth mic or whatever. However it works, but yeah, it clips a lot.
That makes me laugh. It's all right. You know what makes him happy? He knows to move it. That's really what I care about. He knows to like move things out of the way when it starts going off. It's just funny when I hear that sound. I'm like, I haven't heard that since I was in high school. That rules. Speaking of rules, leave a thumbs up on the video if you haven't already. We're early enough that I can tell you. Get that pyro going. It's a Monday morning. It's beautiful outside. It's hot here in Toronto. The block is hot, and so are the fireworks. If they ever show up, is it too hot for fireworks?
No, man.
There you go. You're getting subliminal messaging and fireworks.
Yeah, we go into the rest of the plugs. I'm excited about this weekend that I had.
Please, yeah, we'll get into it. You can also go ahead and subscribe to the channel. My flow is all off because we got into that. Subscribe to the channel. We're going and at a good pace. We're getting a lot of y'all commenting on our stuff and subscribing as a result, which we appreciate. And you can go ahead and donate a super chat this week more than any other week. I really hope people do. I know that we make the joke about like give us your hard-earned money. This week, actually, all super chats are going to be donated to the Canadian Cancer Society in support of the C4 wrestling show that I'll be in attendance for in Ottawa, and also Evil Uno on his Twitch channel and the Mystery Wrestling channel. They're doing a 24-hour match. That's today. It starts today. But all super chats for this week on this show, we're going to be donating that to the fighting back cause. You can go ahead. And also on my Twitter, on my Blue Sky, I posted a link. I'll probably pin it to be able to donate directly to the cause if you don't necessarily want to do through Super Chat and you want 100% of your money going to the cause. Please go ahead and do that. We'll be plugging that all week, and we really do appreciate y'all because not only are you generous, but it also gets you to make jokes in the comments that we normally get to laugh at too. For a good cause, right? It's good.
Yeah, give your hard-earned money to cancer research, not to us.
Yes, perfect. That's all you need to do. So let's talk about your weekend. You had my weekend was spent trying to take care of a sick kid while I was also getting sick. So that was fun. But what happened with you?
So our town holds like a festival before school starts. Kids are going back to school this week, which it always trips me out. It's August. Like, we can go back to school till like September.
Right?
It's just August nonsense.
We're still after Labor Day weekend. It's the first Monday back. That's it. That's school starts.
Yeah. They're going back to school this week. So the town holds a festival before the kids go back to school. These things suck, folks. They're just terrible. You go there, you stand in line for the bouncy house, for like 20 minutes. They get like 3 minutes in the bouncy house, and then you stand in line for overpriced food, and it's all in service to watch fireworks. Fireworks are the most overrated thing in the world. Top 5, at least. They suck. There's loud explosions of color. That's no fun. I don't see the appeal of fireworks. So we're there for like 3 hours. Maybe more than that. Yeah, over 3 hours. We're there over 3 hours. Standing around, waiting for fireworks start. Fireworks start. It lasts like 10 minutes. 3-hour wait for a 10-minute explosion of color. That sucks. Just terrible. Terrible, terrible weekend because it was a lot of standing around in muggy weather for 3 hours for 10 minutes of a colorful explosion. Fireworks should be outlawed. I agree with all states who do that, although most states don't adhere to that.
They don't really enforce it, do they?
Yeah. But they're just so dumb, you know? Like, I just don't understand the appeal of them. Again, explosions of color. They all do the same thing. Just color, pop, fall. Okay. That's it. It's cool, like, for the first one. But then it's more popping. It's more popping. It's more popping. And it's like, can this just stop? Does that hurt your ears after a while? I know I'm getting old. I don't care. Someone's got to do something about these fireworks.
I get it. There's a few pieces of business here. One is you can still have fireworks. You just need them far away so that the blow-ups aren't so hot and not so loud. You could do that. I'm not the biggest fan of fireworks either. But like when I went to summer camp, they would go out on the lake like to an island that was probably about 100 feet away, and they'd run off the fireworks from there, and they do it on Canada Day. That worked. You could also do people are doing drone now. The drones are a big deal to replace the fireworks because you can do lighting formations in different colors and stuff. I think that's actually kind of cool. I see Senior Nerd saying drone shows are now more entertaining than fireworks. And you know what? As much as I hate hearing what sounds like a bunch of bugs about to come and eat my face, that's what drones sound like, especially on mass. I would rather have that sound than the blowing up in my face or the blowing up above. But also, we as humans are like jingling keys entertain us when we're little. It's the same shit. It's just jingle jangle sounds and lights. We are very primitive humans at the end of the day. Most people who are, if aliens exist and they saw fireworks, they'd be like, oh, this shit sucks. And that would be it. They'd eradicate the humans. But we're very basic. We just like lights and colors and pretty sounds.
They should do drone shows. They had the drone up there, like, taking picture of the fireworks. I was like, why don't you actually do something with that?
Drones are still much more expensive than fireworks. That's your biggest drawback right now.
I hope the drone catch on fire. That would be an exciting event, you know? If the drone catches on fire.
Yeah, I could see that. You know what else is exciting? AEW is returning to GalaxyCon in Columbus, Ohio. On Saturday, December 6th, Collision will be live at the Battle Grand at CBUS Conventions. That's Columbus. And on Friday, the 5th of December, why did they flip the dates? I guess because AEW is more important than Ring of Honor Final Battle, which will take place at GalaxyCon Columbus. So if you're looking for where you can see Billy Starks versus Athena 4, it's going to be Final Battle, Friday, December 6th. In Columbus at GalaxyCon. There you go. That rounds out the pay-per-view schedule for both Ring of Honor and for AEW at this point, as far as I understand. Not necessarily the live television schedule, but certainly the pay-per-views.
I might have to go to this, sadly.
Might be fun. I mean, Final Battle would be a good time. Collision is Collision. I mean,
ROH,
sometimes
I want the
it's free.
pencil. That's the only reason I care to go to ROH.
That's fair. You should do it. Why not? Yeah, Athena wins again. Athena forever makes even more sense when she goes number 4 for.
It's fine by me. I'm all for Athena. Athena and I are like best friends after last Wednesday, so I'm all for Athena. But Galaxy Con, I hear, is a good time, and let's see who else is gonna be there.
So, Gray's is saying the NXT PLE schedule. They're not going to put They're not going to go against World's End because they always have those. They only do something in the first 2 weeks. Odds are maybe that Saturday, that Collision on the 6th of December. That's when they'd run Deadline. They're not going to run a Friday night because that's SmackDown. They'll probably do, if they do it, Deadline would be on the Saturday, or they'll run unopposed for a change because it's December and everyone's like, who would care at this point? But WWE would do that because it's WWE.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna run on a Friday with.
I got to do. You got SmackDown opposing them.
Yeah, so they're just happy to have SmackDown opposing them, so that'll be fine. All right. Yeah, I might have to go to this. We'll see. We'll see who's gonna be there. If Sting's there, probably gonna have to go, but we'll see.
This could be the Blake Christian Ring of Honor World Title match that we've been waiting for. He's on the poster.
I don't trust them.
It's him and Bandito next to each other. On one side, you got Billy and you got Lee Moriarty, and then you've got Bandito, Blake Christian, Athena. On the other side, it's Shane Taylor Promotions, and oh my God, Tiger Style.
Lee Moriarty.
That's Lee. Yeah. Sorry. So on the other side is Shotty Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mixed up because I saw the mask on Tiger Style. I was like, what the? Anyway, regardless, you got Blake Christian up there. Bandito's still there. Notice Hechicero's not. Dun dun dun. Because you got a pay-per-view. You got the Ring of Honor pay-per-view.
They're seemingly set it like they got Athena and Trisha Dora across from each other, so we'll see if that's a match.
Shane Taylor versus Bandito. Just looking at this poster.
Yeah, if you're basing off the poster, that seems to be what they're hinting at.
They're implying. I don't think they're gonna do it like that. They might do Trisha Dora and Athena. That seems like a thing, but who knows? Yeah, and like Sean in the chat saying, Deadline's usually the first weekend in December. That's like I've said this a billion times on this show and on others. Like once they get past that first couple of weeks in WWE world, the first weeks of December, they don't schedule anything after that. After that second weekend, they're done with any like big events. They'll do a Saturday night's main event at the like middle of December, and then that'll be it for the Christmas season until they run the post Christmas events if they do those.
Yeah.
Get ready for a stacked house show. We'll see. Yeah, don't worry, Rare Beast. We'll talk about what happened on Collision this week. Not Tony Schiavone's best week on commentary. Production was struggling in a lot of ways. We'll talk about that. The show was fine, but it was certainly some gaps where I was like, come on, man, these were very easy to fix. But it is what it is.
Well, it's live. They're live, pal.
Yeah, that's the problem. They need to go back to being filmed all the time. Shall we hit a couple super chats?
Yeah.
Louis starts us off saying, kids need to know what it's like to disappoint your dad when he finds drugs in his cabinet.
So we go to this kids museum, which it was very cool. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff to do. It's we made rockets. Look at this rocket I made, Joel.
Gotta see this.
Look at this.
What? Does it launch into the air?
Yeah, so they got these like basically compressed air, things. You just put it on there and you hit the button and it launches up. We got one of them stuck in the ceiling. That was pretty fun. But I made that one as OKC Thunder colors, or as close as possible as I could get to it. But it's if you've ever been to like kind of a kids museum, you kind of know this sort of stuff that they got there. It's very fun. It shows you how like electricity works. You just crank a wheel. It's like, oh, look, this light's up. It's cool. It's very interactive, and you got things to do and stuff. So I got this sound room. I got like the drum sets that looks like Band Hero, where you play the drums, and they got like a little piano that you can like make some beats to and stuff. And then they got this mixer though, and I see Bluetooth on this mixer, and I was like, all right, let's see let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, the Bluetooth worked. I was playing some FICO by Clips, and I didn't know how to mix very well because I didn't even mess around with the mixer at all to know like what the different buttons did. I don't feel like some of the buttons worked, or again, I didn't understand how it worked because I didn't screw around with it enough. I was just like, I saw Bluetooth and immediately was like, let's see if this Bluetooth works. Like, yeah, that could be a bad idea for people like me. I'm sure most people are like, let's play a Taylor Swift song, which typically would be up my alley. But the kids were not in the little sound room with me, so I was like, all right, we're gonna play some real music here when it comes to mixing. So I was mixing and teaching the kids how to mix as well.
You were working for the children.
Yeah,
You were being a good father figure.
They gotta learn. They got to learn that dealing coke gets you far in life.
It's true. Gets you gigs everywhere. It just works. Volib sends a super chat saying, I've been saying it for over 2 decades. Fuck cancer. We're over 7 seconds. We can do it now. Absolutely.
Facts.
And Cody Springer adding in, both of my parents are cancer survivors. Cancer sucks. It really, really does. I lost my maternal grandmother. Something in my mouth. My maternal grandmother lost to pancreatic cancer. My dad, I lost to a combination of lymph node and brain cancer. It sucks, especially when you see some of the decline that comes with it. And again, that's why I find it so important not only to go to a show like Fighting Back that C4 is putting on Friday, but also I find it very important to spread the awareness of shows like these. And yeah, there's a ton of cancer research and cancer benefit shows that go on, and this is one that we are supporting because not only is it something that touches us, it's wrestling as well, and they've been doing it for so long as a major part of their annual tradition. So as much as it sucks to have to put on a show like this, at least there's a community that rallies around it and gives generously to the cause. Speaking of which, Ken Bruno with a great, fantastic monster super chat saying, "Cancer sucks. Thanks for putting the money towards a good cause. Have a good one, gang." Well, thank you very much, Ken. You're always very generous, and we appreciate that you're putting the money towards this as well. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Ken.
Cancer sucks. So does AEW. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't gonna. So does AEW. No, I'm not gonna do this. Actually, nice. Find myself enjoying quite a lot of AEW these days, so I can't really complain. It was the production stuff that happened. There were a bunch of production snafus on Collision. We can spend a couple minutes on that because it's not like Collision wasn't super duper duper newsworthy. There were a few kind of spots coming out of it, but they announced the technical spectacle that they're going to do next week. It's a 4-way on Collision. The winner gets to face Jack Sabre Jr. for the New Japan Heavyweight Championship. That was really what got me. I was watching late. I was picking it up, and I was looking at something maybe on my other monitor. And you know that moment in a TV show when you hear something and you just slowly turn your head back to the person who said it? That was me. I heard Jack Sabre Jr., and I just went, huh? What did you say?
Tony Schiavone is hinting that the scapegoat's returning. He's ready to jack off. I don't blame him.
He misses Jack.
Yeah.
He misses his opportunities to jack off.
Yeah.
I would too. So it started with that, and that was pretty early on in the show. After that, there was... Sorry, I got to pull this up because I got a couple of them. Yeah, the New Japan Heavyweight Champion. I'm just like, you guys have done this enough to know that he is the IWGP Champion. And like, this is AEW is very much a nerdy company that people would call that out. I was like, whoa, that's okay, weird. And then during the tag match, this one was a little more funny to me. Not during the tag match, sorry, the Juice Robinson and Ricochet match. You had Bishop Khan throw Austin Gunn into the commentary desk, and one of the three drop a very, very loud F-bomb. Like, what the fuck? And I didn't know who it was. Someone was trying to tell me that it was Nigel because he got a boot to the face, but I'm not so sure. I thought maybe it was Paul Walter Hauser, but it was very funny. Henry saying they messed up on purpose for me to hate on it. No, I just like, if you're gonna do it, I hope you get your finger on the button because you don't want to drop an F-bomb on live national television. So there was that, and then Max Caster was doing his promo in the ring, the best wrestler alive, Yes, like Pile Driver saying it was Nigel. But it sounded like Paul Walter Hauser because it didn't sound like a British guy saying dropping an F-bomb. Whatever, regardless. One of the three, that wasn't Tony, said it. He texted my camera buddy. Max is doing the Best Wrestler Alive promo, but then behind him on the wraparound LED boards, it's got Mystico's stuff, like his banner running. And I'm like, is Mystico answering the challenge? That's pretty cool. And then out comes Katsuyori Shibata, and I was like, I don't know if that's better or not. Like, it was, the match was fine. Like, again, the 5 minute thing is what it is. But I was like, wait, Mystico, that's cool. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's not Mystico, that's Katsuyori Shibata. All right, sure. It was just not the greatest night for production on an otherwise, like, again, pretty entertaining show. I thought there was some good stuff. The opening contest with Fletcher and Ishii was great. We knew it would be fun. You remember when Mark Wheeler was on the show and we kind of joked about Jody Threat getting a deal out of getting the piss knocked out of her by Athena? That's basically what Tomohiro Ishii is doing, getting a deal based on getting the piss knocked out of him, the piss knocked out of him, and he's doing a great job at it. So the match was fun. Fletcher then gets the microphone and puts an open challenge out for anyone from New Japan to challenge him for the TNT title at Forbidden Door. I know people who follow the G1 are probably salivating at who it could be. To me, at the same time, Yuya was just, mathematically eliminated from the G1. If he's okay, I could see him being the challenger for that title. Easy peasy.
Okay. That's a possibility. I mean, I don't think it has to be someone who's just been eliminated from the G1, because the G1 will be over by the time Forbidden Door starts. And Yuya's got to, it's not like he's going to the States to build this thing, because he's still got to do all the multi-man tag matches that they do after block action's over. So that's a possibility. It still feels like it's a Tanahashi thing, but if it's Tanahashi, you would think they would maybe have announced that. The only thing is, Tanahashi had not been eliminated from the G1 when that segment aired, because he officially didn't advance to the playoffs on Sunday morning. And so I think I have my timeline right. All the days run together for me. But I'm pretty sure it was yesterday morning is when he wasn't eliminated, or when he didn't advance to the playoffs. And that obviously Collision was Saturday night. So maybe that's why they didn't say Tanahashi's name yet.
Gotta wait for him to challenge Hangman for that title.
I mean, maybe. Possibly.
I don't know. He obviously, like, he has the match, does Tanahashi, right? It's there. It's been promoted. This is Tanahashi's last match in the UK, and it's for Forbidden Door. I don't know where he would fit. I started with 12-man tag like a long time ago when they came out at the one pay-per-view. It was a conglomeration in Tanahashi.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, this is just a 10 or 12-man tag, and that'll be his last match, blah, blah, blah. And then over time, through the G1, we kind of realized, oh, he's moving pretty well. Maybe he could do a singles match. On the other hand, he's moving really well now because he's pushing himself. So we don't know how he's going to feel coming out of the G1. He could be shot and just be like, give me something that's not going to make me look bad, but still let me work. So it's up in the air. I don't know what you could do. Tanahashi and a returning Chris Jericho. I love it. The learning tree versus the Tanahashi tree.
Chris Jericho's like just been persona non grata this year. It's kind of insane that he hasn't been back at all. I expected him back before All In, because he's not going to want to miss the stadium show. He just wasn't there. The Big Bill and Brian Keith haven't done anything in his absence except get buried by the Hurt Syndicate. Oh, I don't know where things fit when Chris Jericho eventually returns. He'll come in, he'll have stuff to do. I just don't know like where he fits in the landscape of things right now.
He should join the Death Riders.
That sounds bad.
He should kick out Mox, and they should just call it the Death Riders. The rider tree, the death tree.
I feel like we pitched that before, because they teamed for a while, and we were like, why are they teaming? Didn't Jericho and Moxley like hate each other? Not for a while, like literally 1 week. But everybody questioned that. Like, why are Jericho and Moxley like all of a sudden friendly and on the same terms here? Yeah, I don't think that was very good. It's not Jericho's fault that they're not doing anything with Big Bill and Brian Keith either. Like, they should have. Maybe they heat them up when Jericho's getting closer to a return. But right now, like, if Jericho comes back, his shtick is, wow, you guys sucked when I was gone, didn't you? Like, you didn't do anything. You guys failed me. And then maybe they turn on him, but there's no, you guys did a great job, I'm not needed. They're kind of proving that they need Jericho because they haven't accomplished anything with Jericho being gone.
You don't need to. You just need him to show up, get a pop, and go home. Chris Jericho. Henry was right in the chat, by the way. I like the idea of doing Kyle Fletcher and Tanahashi for the TNT title. It's not a bad call because
wait, what the? We just talked.
I know
about
we
that,
did.
Joel.
I'm giving you credence, and I'm adding to what Henry's saying. Let me finish, Chris, because I didn't mention Tana and Kyle. I'm adding to this point.
Okay.
There is a history there. Kyle has been through New Japan system. Not only that, you've got Tanahashi who's been putting people over in the G1, which I believe you mentioned. You could take a moment and have a good match, a serviceable match, in which Kyle Fletcher continues to build on what he's been built upon, which is his singles career taking off. He looks good beating Tanahashi. Call him the ace. They'll call him the proto star ace, whatever his full name is going to be. He says, say my full name. And I'm like, your name is Kyle Fletcher. They say that. We have to say the protostar Kyle Fletcher, the Fletchlight. Like, what's the full name that we're supposed to be saying?
I just liked how it took Henry's comment for you to acknowledge this.
I don't
and
listen
not
to you.
Me saying this.
No.
And SP3 was the one who originally said it last week.
Oh, you think I listened to the shows that you and SP3 do?
Well, I know, but I literally just said it this week. I said it on this show. I said it 2 seconds before Henry.
Not in this brain, you didn't.
But clearly.
Not in this brain. Henry did it. It was all, you didn't say anything. In my mind, it was just womp, 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 womp. You were the Charlie Brown teacher getting ready for class.
That makes for a great show.
Could you imagine? Just a whole episode of you going womp, 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 womp. And me going, yeah, and then just repeating exactly what you said. Kyle Fletcher Tanahashi. There you go. Kyle can be the upset, oh, I didn't mean you. And then it turns out he gets the win.
Well, yeah, he's not going to lose to Tanahashi.
But what if he did?
Maybe.
The TNT title means nothing.
Well, they're trying to make it something with Kyle Fletcher's reign. It's it has kind of fallen on hard times. You know, Jack Perry's reign was obviously one of the greatest ever, but then Daniel Garcia didn't do a whole lot with it, and then Adam Cole unfortunately got hurt, and now it's on. Dustin's reign was short, but I mean, look, he had the great match with Kyle Fletcher, and now they're doing something with Kyle Fletcher, so it's fine.
Yeah, the Dustin reign served its purpose, right? Get the moment all in, and then carry you through the same. You're going to be in the same venue for an amount of time, so you can tell a little story. That didn't bother me as much. At first, I was like, all right, this is a little strange, but then as you kind of watched it play out, you're like, okay, yeah, Kyle Fletcher winning in a well done street fight made it even more important that he gets it. So I didn't hate it in the end. I didn't really ever hate it. I was just like, where are we going with this? It turned out they did a pretty good job with that. So good for Kyle, and he continues to grow. And he beat the shit out of Tomohiro Ishii, which is what most people do in AEW.
Yeah, everyone beats Tomohiro Ishii. Very sad.
That's what you do. You don't even need to try. You just be like, oh, and this week this person faces Ishii. Next. That's all you gotta do. And you just move on. Skip the match. Or watch the match, because again, it was a good match. But you just know the outcome's not in doubt. Oh, what else happened on this show? They did Hechicero and AR Fox. That was the match I was got the post show that we do on, not us, but that we have on Fightful. They were like, we saw someone go into the ring and we thought it was Wheeler Yuta. I was like, why would they give Wheeler Yuta the non-entrance? It's very clearly AR Fox. But AR Fox loses the match. It's good. What do you think of the Hechicero kind of monkey flip into the choke finish?
He's been doing that a little bit.
Did he hit it better with AR Fox, or has he hit it better before? Because it felt okay with AR Fox. I didn't think it was like as fluid as maybe it's been.
He did it on Bandito, I feel like. Or it was some, my brain can't remember all of this stuff. But I know it choked out Bandito, and I feel like it was set up with the monkey flip, but I could be wrong. Yeah, Henry's saying he cooked Bandito. Henry clearly knows everything and should be listened to above both of us here on this show. Yeah, it looked better on Bandito, but it's a tough one to kind of pull off.
Yeah, but he got it. He got the win. You had Ricochet watching, or not Ricochet, sorry, Lee Moriarty watching on the back, in the back, on the TV, staring at the screen while Nigel was on the call, and Danny Garcia was hanging out on commentary as well. That's a fun four-way they put together. Do you think, is it Nigel getting the win, doing Zach and Nigel?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Could it be?
No.
Could it be?
No.
No, Danny? No?
I don't think they see a whole lot with Garcia right now. I mean, he wasn't even going to be on All In. Maybe he was going to be in the Casino Gauntlet, but otherwise he wasn't going to be in All In because he only got added when Cole went out. So he got added to the four-way. So yeah, he wasn't even going to be on that show. He hasn't done anything since. So why am I going to believe it's something with Daniel Garcia? It's Forbidden Door. They want to do Nigel and Zach because when they squared off last year at All In the Casino Gauntlet, they got a big reaction. Or was it 2 years ago at this point? Whenever they squared off in the Casino Gauntlet, I can't remember when Nigel returned. No, it was last year.
Was it last year? Because then they did. Okay, yeah.
Because Nigel wasn't around the first year. Because they was gonna maybe face Danielson the first year, but Danielson was out. Yeah, it was last year. Yeah, so they want to do most likely Nigel and Zach, and they'll do Nigel and Zach. I wish they'd see a little bit more to do with Garcia, but they don't have anything with him right now.
Gave him a TNT title, and look where that went. That's upsetting.
Well, yeah, we just talked about that.
I know.
It wasn't a good reign.
Yeah. Anyway, Kate's asking, Joel's talking about moves. Is he okay? No, Kate, I'm sick. We talked about this at the very top of the show. Get with the times, Mo. Anyway, where are we? There was a bunch of squash matches with a couple of actual matches peppered in. Paige and Jetspeed beat LFI. Bless Roosh. Roosh wants to be anywhere he can be, especially when a world champion is involved. So he inserts himself in every single sequence he can with Hangman, to the point where a bunch of people are saying, we got to see Roosh and Hangman. We got to see Roosh and Hangman. And meanwhile, most people who know are just like, you don't really need to see Roosh and Hangman. You saw it in this tag match. It was a fun tag match. It was a fun trios match. And then they had Roosh on AEW, which people seem to have enjoyed. I'm not the biggest Roosh fan, just maybe because I have heard enough about Roosh over the years to be like, all right, he's gonna do what Roosh does. But there you go, Roosh and LFI drop one to Paige and Jetspeed. Was it Paige pinned Drolistico in the end?
Yeah, Roosh wasn't taking that L.
Do you imagine? That's why he went 5 minutes with Max Caster the week before.
Yeah, weird thing to have him go 5 minutes with Max Caster and then let's put him in this main event trios match. Probably should have thought that out a little bit better. That he should have just beat up Max Caster and beat him. It would have been fine. Caster's gonna be over regardless. So it was a good trios match. Overall, Collision was a fine show of wrestling, as it always is.
Exactly. Carly Cameron wears a mask.
Lack of murder on the show.
There was a lack of murder, but we saw the mask. Harley Cameron in her hotel room in the middle of the day, closing the curtains and trying to wear a mask. She's going to be the mask, but the mask this time is a cat. She's already worn the mask.
Yeah.
It's very funny. I was just like, well, this isn't new. This is something you did 2 months or a month ago. What are we doing? What is this?
Yeah. And then she's just been off television, but now they're trying to make it into something. Okay. It gives her, is it going to give power? Is she going to be like Catwoman now when she puts the mask on?
Will she be able to scratch people with claws?
Probably.
I'm here for that. I would like to see that. What do you think of Triangle of Madness and Queen Aminata Mello and Willow Nightingale? That was kind of a match that it felt like it happened. There was nothing that really set me into oh, this was an excellent match. Mello eats the pin, and there you go. That was it. Triangle of Madness wins another trios match.
We'll see if they're setting up things. Not shocking that Triangle of Madness wins. I mean, they're the established group here, so you would probably want to give them wins. You know, Megan Bain won a squash match earlier on the night. We're trying to set up, or allegedly setting up, women's Bloods and Guts. We'll see if it gets there.
Do it at GalaxyCon.
I don't think GalaxyCon can hold that.
Okay, here's my pitch. You, me, and SB3, we recreate the Triangle of Madness entrance, along with the holding hands in a triangle at the end.
Okay.
And there's no follow through. It's just that.
Oh.
It's just that. Right. It's just 3 of us doing that entrance. I see nothing wrong coming from that. We don't have to wear their gear. That would feel a little strange to us. But, wear the hats. Do you want to wear the big Julia Hart hat?
I'll wear the Julia Hart hat. I have no problem with that.
All right. I will wear the Sky Blue Mystery Machine gear.
Do I get to spit liquid in people's faces?
You can wear you can spit whatever you like, pal.
Okay.
Just don't spit it in my face. Maybe I'll just spit in your face. If it's anything like now, I'm very tired and would probably get you sick.
Do you want to play Ookie Mouth?
Not at all.
Okay.
Andrew's saying TK's into triangles. It's true. Loves that death triangle.
Yeah,
got a triangle of madness going. The learning tree was secretly a triangle tree. It was the wreath, but they had to turn it into a triangle.
Oh, wreath is round, isn't it?
Ah, well, so are you. No one wants to play Sprunky. Stop asking about Sprunky. That was a weird. When you told me about it, I was like, "What is this?" And then I watched it, and I was like, "This is awful." And then I played it, and I was like, "Oh, I get it now. This is still awful."
Once you know what you're doing, like it's kind of fun. But we thought it was some happy-go-lucky game, and it was anything but. Oh, what can you do? It was fun.
Volab asking, "Does my son know what Sprunky is?" No, my son definitely does not.
Wow.
My kid's not much of a. No, my kid's not like a tablet YouTube kid. We don't really do that much with tablets and screen time with him. That's what we do. Well, you gotta pick them up, right?
Nah.
Shall we hit a couple more super chats?
Sure.
Kim Gray saying, "Breast cancer survivor here. Glad you're still with us, Kim."
Yes.
It sucks to have to deal with anyone who has cancer, has to deal with it and go through everything that comes with it. Glad you're still here. We love to see it, and hopefully you're continuing to do well. The rest of these super chats are about our front page, or about our thumbnail.
Okay.
Should we get right into it and get your finger on the button?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Volib sends a super chat saying, "Vanilla Fumble.
I'm vanilla, baby.
On Kross, when we work, and you work yourself into a shoot, and then maybe you shoot yourself into a work, but we don't know." Lots to talk about here. And Mod Revolve adding in, "The only Kross I want to see in AEW is Lena Kross. # fuck cancer." Hey, man, Lena Kross is a special talent. She's been talked about for TNA, but we'll see. She did appear on that Collision the week later. But let's talk about it. Karrion Kross, everybody's favorite cross to bear, drops a 75-minute exit interview of a video where he effectively says, "I didn't want to leave. I don't want to go anywhere. This is how good I am and how much I love being here. And this is why I think I should stay." In a lot of ways, putting himself over. And this is me being a little cynical, because here's the thing. I have no dog in this fight. I think Karrion Kross comes off as a very nice person. And I think Scarlett does too. I don't know them. I only see what they want you to see. They're very curated in what they present from that video. It's hard not to look at them and say you're a likable fella, and your wife is as well. I do have questions about the cheese and heroin conversation from the video, because that was a thing. Did you see that part?
Yeah,
you did.
I watched the whole video.
I know you did, but I was waiting for you to be like, cheese and heroin. What, did I miss that? No, she's holding cheese, and she's like, same as heroin. So regardless of how you feel, Karrion Kross's contract was effectively up yesterday, August 10th, and he's been moved to the WWE alumni section, him and Scarlett as well. So it seems as if they are no longer under WWE contract. Whether or not that means they have resigned or will resign, that's still up to interpretation, but they did drop this 75-minute documentary basically outlining what his last few months have been like, talking about his new book that's come out, leading all the way up to SummerSlam, and what has been his last match in WWE so far, and what he would like to be doing next. And spoiler alert, He'd like to still be working in WWE and doing more than just what he's been doing. A lot of feelings around this. I'm curious about what you read into that video and just kind of your overall thoughts on the documentary.
Oh, it was very good. Well, part 1 was very good. I don't know. So a lot of the footage was pre-SummerSlam. And it seemed like the sit-down interview was pre-SummerSlam as well. And then they put it together and they released it. And it could have been maybe had a completely different title had he ended up re-signing with the company. But again, you can tell a lot of the footage is pre-SummerSlam. I don't know when the sit-down stuff was recorded. It all felt like pre-SummerSlam as well. Because he didn't really talk about and maybe it was right after SummerSlam. But, that was only a week ago. So it felt like there could have been more talk of leaving WWE. Because you'll notice he doesn't, in the video, really confirm that he's leaving. It's confirmed with the title of the video, and it was confirmed on social media, but he doesn't talk about, my contract is up, I'm a free agent, we're just done now. So all the footage was clearly shot before his contract was clearly up. It was well done. It was well put together. I came off liking Kross more. I came off understanding him a bit better. And I thought he made a lot of good points, as we'll talk about. And specifically, like we've talked about, he got over. I'm not the biggest fan of his in-ring work. I think some of the lore stuff he likes to do that isn't actually there, but he wants to create it, can be a little much. But I understand if you're a wrestler why you would do that, because you do want something to sink your teeth into. Not every wrestler just wants to go out there and just be like, yep, won this match, did this promo, didn't lead to anything. Like, you gotta almost create these stories in your mind to make things feel purposeful. And people can dislike that all they want and be like, well, you're creating something that isn't there. I mean, Kross admits as much, is that you kind of got to create something that isn't there, because otherwise you're just going out there and having matches, and then what's the purpose of all these backstage segments if they're not leading to anything? Your hope is that they get picked up on. With him, they didn't really get picked up on. It just, they put him in stuff, didn't actually lead to anything, and then now he's gone. As far as him being gone, I think it's a missed opportunity in that he got over online and in the arenas, and they couldn't find anything for him. And like he says, if you're a company that says, we listen to the fans are our focus group every single night, they're telling you they want this guy. They're cheering for this guy. And your decision is, no, we're just going to let his contract expire. Doesn't send a great message to the fans. Look, maybe it's all a work. Maybe they're trying to do a we want truth, but a worked we want truth, because although that was part of the show, that was not part of the show. And maybe we get we want Kross chance on Raw tonight, and then next week on Raw he's just back and like, see, we listened to the fans, but it was legitimately all a work. Why don't you just re-sign the guy? And like, why do you have to do all of that? That goes back to the Seth thing. It's like, why do you have to do all of that to do this one little moment? To show that the fans are right? But like, it's just a weird thing. You know? Am I off base with that to do like a worked shoot of we want you to cheer for Kross even though you're already cheering for Kross and
No,
then we're gonna bring him back.
you know exactly what this is. This is manufacturing goodwill. This is their way of thinking they're manufacturing goodwill because they've lost a shit ton of it. There's a problem with doing it like that when the people who are the ones calling out your manufacturing of goodwill are the same ones who are calling out when your goodwill is depleting because of the things you're choosing to do. So here's a good reason. So who was it in the chat? It was Pile Driver Finisher asking like, what's the appeal with Kross? And I think there was something really interesting in that documentary that gave you an idea of what Kross is trying to do when putting together a character or trying to appeal to an audience. He asks a woman, he asks a girl like point blank, why do you like wrestling? What do you like about it? He says no wrong answers. And she says it's the character, it's the lore, basically is what she says. It's the character, it's the people you can get behind. It's like it's a team that you can enjoy. It's your own little pocket. And Kross says, okay, that's really cool. I've heard that a lot. He's like, I find that from newer fans, that's what people are into. They're into the character development. They're into this, they're into that. And it was all based on the character and storylines. And then he says, but then there are people who have been watching this their entire life, and they're more into the sequences. They're more into the wrestling and blah, blah, blah. So for those who are asking, like, why are people into Kross? It's because he spends a lot of time working on a character that you can get involved in. And he presents it in such a way that, excuse me, it's a little dark and mysterious, but it's also relatable in its own little way. So people gravitate towards something that's a little bit of a mystery, but it's also okay to say, it's not for me. But it's clearly for someone, because a lot of people were watching and a lot of people were interested and a lot of people have been invested. For some of our media pals who interview these people, they like them. They like the people that they get to interview. If they have a good chat and they get behind them because it was a good experience, okay, that's up to them. And then as a result, they'll push for more of them. At the end of the day, when he finishes off his contract, and now the question becomes, you know, what happens if and when they bring him back? And then the reporting was going to come out. What happened? This whole Unreal and controlling narratives thing is something that WWE is going to try to do and make outlets like us and Insider and Observer and Torch and name it, Self-Made, whatever you like, all of these people who do the work and do a good job getting the work done. It's done at a discredit to us because they're hoping that when they bring them back, someone from WWE, usually Paul or whoever, can go and say, you know, oh, we did this because we listened to our fans. This was always going to be it because we didn't know, and then we knew once we heard the pushback, and we did it for you. And don't listen to what the dirt sheets say because the dirt sheets didn't know what we were doing until we did it. And what's hilarious is when I say control the narrative and people start making jokes, they are very much playing into what Control Your Narrative became, which was this weird, like, manosphere think tank bullshit type of company. And WWE is very much like, yeah, sure, we'll be that. We've bent the knee already to certain political tasks. So instead, we're just going to go full bore. So they're going to manufacture the goodwill of bringing back, not Truth. They already did that. They're going to manufacture the goodwill of bringing back a guy like Kross, potentially. And then they're going to say, we did it. We did it. We listened to you. Love us again. And a lot of people are going to be okay with that. They're going to be like, yay, you listened. And now we're okay with Brock coming back. Or now we'll be okay when you welcome Vince back at John Cena's retirement ceremony. Whatever bullshit they want to pull next. People will be like, yeah, but they brought back the guy we like. And that shouldn't be okay. And this is me a little bit. Maybe it's projecting and maybe it's just like, this is what could happen. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them do something like this and then pull a 180 and just be like, oh, but here's the shit sandwich that comes with the middle of it. And that's how they'll look at it.
Well, is Brock the shit sandwich?
Everything's a shit sandwich, Jeremy. It crosses the bread. Brock is the shit.
Oh, all right.
Because people like the bread in the sandwich in this case. And Brock is it's pretty easy to put together that.
It's just a weird thing of, hey, I don't disagree with you, mind you. it's just very strange to me that this is their idea of manufacturing goodwill. They could just re-sign the guy and use the guy on television. That's how you get goodwill, not just you cheered for him, you wanted him back, and we brought him back. Like, see, you already lost some of the goodwill by letting the contract expire. It's just it's a weird way to go about it. Like, why even do the losing faith point just to regain the faith? It makes no sense, honestly. Like, to me, it doesn't make a whole lot. Like, their twisted view of what they're trying to do here doesn't make any sense to me. This is like saying, hey, I'm going to go cheat on you, but I'm letting you know I'm going to go cheat on you. And then when I admit that I cheated on you, please forgive me because I let you know beforehand. Just like, how about you just don't cheat? And then we don't have to do this whole thing. It's so weird. It makes no sense to me.
There is a possibility that they play it off as fans didn't know that his contract lapsed. They might easily just be like, oh, we've re-signed him. They won't even tell you that his contract lapsed. He was just off TV because we cycle characters in and out, and that's going to be it. It could easily just be as simple as that, because they're banking on wrestling fans not being us and not being our chat. And there are some who there are a lot of us who are not those people who they buy the ticket, they come to the arena, they have a good time. What they read on the internet isn't exactly like anything more than a bunch of clips and not even internet, not even like news clips or interview clips. They see like, oh, remember this match from 20 years ago? How great was it then? Like, there are plenty of fans who are just, they put their phone down and they go to the show and that's it. That's it. And if WWE can get away with, we brought him back because you wanted him back, we've re-signed him, and no talk about a deal lapse. The people who know are going to be the people who are that, loud minority, because we really are. I wish we were louder, but we're stuck. And who was it? Xeno Hour saying the Brock stuff. The Brock discourse faded quick. It's going to come back because right now Brock wasn't on TV this week. And you're right that the Kross stuff is a bit of a red herring to get people off of the Brock conversation. But when he comes back, there will more than likely be people who bring it up, and they should. And I think that people should continue to bang that drum whenever he shows up. There's just a possibility that he might not show up again until after Paris and into the fall season, once the season premieres begin, quote unquote. And then they'll pitch towards whatever show he's going to work at, whether that's the Australia show or he's going to work the baseball park for Survivor Series in San Diego. For now, if he's just off TV, he's out of sight, out of mind. And that's kind of what this news cycle looks like. You see a lot of it right now with documents that should be released, and instead we're going to deal with homelessness on the lawn. And that's just trying to divert attention from another bigger issue.
A lot of it just doesn't make any sense to me when it comes to doing things this way and trying to, as you said, manufacture goodwill. And Brock will be a conversation when he does return. He's obviously not working in Paris, but I assume he'll work the Australia shows, and I assume he'll work Survivor Series. Australia more likely than Survivor Series. Maybe they don't use him for Survivor Series. Maybe John Cena wants to do a War Games match because fuck it. And I don't think Brock is going to do a War Game, but maybe he is. Maybe they do Team Cena versus Team Brock at War Games. I don't know how the hell you get there, but they got 100 writers. They can figure it out.
Brock having a team for War Games feels not right.
Yeah, but who cares? Nothing's right with this company.
That is true.
Right
that is
now.
True. I feel like it'll just be a Brock Cena match, and that's it. But
that feels like that feels like the Australia match, though.
It does, and again, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Brock's willing to do that sort of travel too, because that's a long ass flight, and Brock hates to travel. Like that is well established. He does not like to go further than he has to, unless they're gonna put a dump truck full of money up into his house. Which I don't know if they got a dump truck full of money for the Australia tour. They got a good amount.
They got
a
money
lot of money.
Regardless,
I just don't know if that's extra money that they want to put in the Brock train, or if they've already done a good job selling out. Because the big event it's the crown jewel, right? The champions are going to face off, and that's a whole thing. So like maybe that's enough to fill the arena. We don't know. They got to fill a baseball stadium. I think Brock is more likely to fly from Saskatchewan to San Diego to fill a baseball stadium than he is to, and the baseball stadiums, upwards of 45,000 with, floor seating. Whereas you go to the Australia show, it's an arena, right? It's 20,000, 22,000. You don't need to necessarily work so hard to fill that space.
Sure. No, I understand what you're saying. But they're going to utilize Brock whenever they can. And, hold off this Brock Cena stuff all the way to Survivor Series. I mean, I guess, but the fact that they're doing Cena and Logan Paul, that's And then what are they going to do with Crown Jewel before Survivor Series? You do Cena and Drew? Because I don't think Drew's beating Cody. He should. I don't think he is.
It's more likely that's what you'll get if you don't get Cena and like Jey Uso or something in a respect match of some sorts.
I don't mind Cena and Drew. Drew at least makes everything interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's still okay. Sure. Drew coming off of a loss to Cody. It's not the most interesting thing in the world, but I guess it's something.
Well, this is what I talked about on Twitter about why did they change the finish to the Jelly Roll tag match? Obviously, we found out later it was Jelly Roll asked for it, but also if they hadn't, it would have been all the baby faces going over on night one, with the exception of the cash-in, but I don't really count that. I mean, in matches happening, like all the baby faces were winning, so I was like, maybe they need to have the heels go over for one, because then you can at least set up opponents for Cody. I knew for Cody for sure, and then with Cena I was like, all right, I guess you got Logan Paul out of this because he also won the match, so it for that it made sense. But at the moment I was like, I think they're doing this because they need to strengthen something on SmackDown. Creative control Jelly Roll
over here. Jelly Roll for like, you know what, how about I lose? And good on them, honestly, because it did make more sense to do it that way. Jelly Roll's not coming back. Logan's gonna be there. Drew's gonna be there. Randy doesn't need to, like, all right, sure. But if your next program was Drew and Cody and Logan and Cena, it made a whole lot more sense for Drew and Logan to win that match. Thank God Jelly Roll understands how the business works, because clearly those 50 writers and the game have no idea.
Remember when he wanted to call his team RK Roll?
No, that team sucked. That name sucked.
Awful name. Notice how they never went with it?
Yeah, because it was awful.
Oh, God. What do we call it? You called it something awfuler.
Jellyo.
Jellyo.
Yeah.
Stupid. Jelly RKO is what I was calling it.
Where are you at on Kross?
It was Snake Roll.
Something like that. Terrible. All the names are terrible. You can't do a great name with these two people. Where are you at on Kross? You think he just ends up back in WWE in a week? Like, how, if he ends up back in WWE, because he makes it very clear in that video, like, he only wants to be in WWE. That's not going to preclude him from, like, taking other bookings and stuff, but he made it pretty clear that he only wants to be in WWE.
Oh, I called him Jelly Snake. Thank you. No, it didn't. Okay. This is the weird thing about Kross. Part of that video was WWE loves wrestlers who play hard to get in certain scenarios. They also don't like wrestlers who feel like they're coming off as if they're begging. Part of that video did feel a little bit like Kross was begging. And I didn't really love that, but that was to me. That was just to me. Other people are going to see a different way. That was just when I was watching, I was like, feels like he's getting a little too heavy-handed, that he really wants to be in WWE. I see him in a place like WWE, not only because he wants to be there, but also because he's worked to be there. And also, whether or not he's in the ring, that's a different question. I could see him working as a producer, working in a backstage role, working as a not necessarily a manager, but someone who has the storytelling skills, because his in-ring is fine. It's not gonna light the world on fire, but his ability to tell a story and at least to think about where a character could be and where it could go, I think that's worth something in wrestling, because we don't have a lot of those. Unfortunately, on the other side, in WWE, most wrestlers don't join a writing team. They mostly join a producing team. And then they get to talk about the moves. And that's not what he's there for. He's a character development guy. There are other companies that could absolutely make use of that. TNA, believe it or not, is one of them. They are having a huge creative lull right now. I don't think Kross is going to be the reason for its saving, but I think adding him, or at least giving him an opportunity to tell stories with some of the characters there, could work. I don't see him in AEW. Many reasons why. Unless Tony, unless everything else aside of to why he might not be there, maybe Tony wants to focus more on character development with some of his wrestlers. Maybe, I don't know. And as a result, you give someone like Karrion an opportunity to at least come in, take a look, see if he fits. If he doesn't, okay, he doesn't. You tried. I think because he is quote unquote out right now of WWE contract, they should make a couple of appearances, whether that's GCW, MLW, any of the non WWE related companies. I think that would be a really good spot for him to start. And then if it turns out that this is all part of a deal and is going to come back to WWE, some people have said go to AAA, do Triple Mania. That's sure, but also WWE owns AAA. They're gaining ownership at the end of the year, so it's a little strange to bring him in and do that. Like I said, there are places for him to go and work and try. I don't necessarily think he needs to be in ring, but I also can't speak to what his expectations are. But I know he has a passion for both sides, in and out. So that's where I'm at. So there you go.
It seems like it's TNA or AAA, which hilarious considering WWE is over them. Legitimately over AAA. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just going to, for chat, saying like, no, he's not going to go to AEW. This is why I added the caveat. If Tony decided that he wanted to put an emphasis on character development, that's what I'm coming from. I'm not saying he's got to go there and he's perfect for there. That's my caveat, is that Tony would have to change part of his booking philosophy and development philosophy. That's where I'm at. So sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't see AEW at all.
I don't.
Even if Tony decided, let's change and go fully more character based. One, they got characters. They do more stories than people. People who know. People who don't want to give them credit, just they act like they don't do stories. But yeah, I don't see him going to. It doesn't fit in AEW.
Totally fair.
It just doesn't fit. It would be like Malachi all over again, but honestly on a lesser level, because Malachi he was having great matches in WWE until he wasn't. And then with Malachi and AEW, like, he was having good matches, but then the booking was weird and it became a whole thing. But he'd be that, because he's not even, his in-ring work is what it is. Like, he's not a guy that, again, Malachi was having good matches in WWE and NXT. Like, all right, you could see it. Kross ain't even having like great matches against the likes of Sami Zayn and AJ Styles. So not even great. Like, they're passable matches at the very minimum, or at the maximum, I should say. They're just passable. But you're talking about Sami Zayn and AJ Styles, two of the best workers of all time. But yeah, I don't see AEW at all. It feels like it's TNA or AAA because he's worked with both promotions. TNA was a different regime. I think things will be fine over there with this regime, because this regime is WWE. AAA, same thing. Seems like he's well liked there. I know Conan's a big fan of his, so Conan, I'm sure, would love to bring him in. I don't think he wants to go to a place like NWA. Like, they don't do any they don't do any business. No knock on NWA, but
but keep in mind the NWA 77th anniversary show is this weekend too.
Yeah, no one knows.
Show up there, no one knows, and it'd be hilarious.
They got no motion, NWA, like absolutely none. And although Kross has some right now, you kill your motion pretty quickly if you just go to NWA and start working with them, because then I don't think you can uplift NWA. I think you get dragged down by NWA. MLW could work, but they only run live shows like every other month, and so that makes it a little bit difficult with them. Is you lose momentum quickly with MLW because you're only doing live shows every month, and then you have the taped show after that. But it's a taped show, and it's taped the month when they're doing the live show, so it's month-old content by the time it airs. Which, yeah, we like MLW. I think they do some good stuff, but some of the storyline stuff just doesn't add up, because by the time they tape their shows, situations change with people. They tape something in June. By the time they get to their next live show in September, who knows who's where? Who knows who's available? So it just becomes difficult to like piece things together off of that. Indies, sure, he could show up at GCW. I know he loves doing the blood sport stuff. Wouldn't be shocked if he's at the blood sport in August in the UK. And then, of course, people will talk about, Kross Forbidden Door? Is that going to be a thing? No, probably not. I don't know if he has any desire to go to Japan. Minoru Suzuki calling him a young boy and just treating him like nobody was something. Yeah, I don't know about where he stands in Japan. It feels like it's AAA or TNA, and all right, I think he can help both of those promotions. I think he can get some buzz off of them, and then maybe he ends up in WWE once they see the reaction he gets there. I hope the best for him, because he does come off like every interview I listen to with him, he comes off very well. He's clearly a smart guy. He clearly has a passion for this, and he comes off very personable. Again, this documentary and the one previously, seems like a good dude. Seems like a guy who just you root for. So hopefully he can find some place that makes him happy.
Kross is also very well connected. I think that's something that people don't necessarily think about. He was a very busy guy before he came to WWE. He's got numbers, he's got contacts. I would like to see the possibility of him bouncing around the indies, as others have mentioned. He could go and make some really good money doing the indies, doing the convention circuit. He clearly has the fans. He could sell his books at a WrestleCon or whatever convention he wants to work at. But the man says he wants to also work in wrestling. Like Kai's saying, he should go into Hollywood. I said this on Friday. He is a handsome son of a bitch, and his wife is beautiful too. If they wanted to get into an entertainment mode, mode that is not wrestling, they could do it, because they have the look. You can work on the acting chops, and he's okay. He could do it. There's opportunity for them outside of wrestling if they so choose. In Kross's case, he has done so much in the wrestling sphere that he really wants to stick to it and see the success from it. It's almost a tunnel vision. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that's his passion. And for every time we come on here and we're like burnt out or upset or annoyed or whatever, we get to do this because it's our passion. Do we make as much money as Kross? No. Do we get to do as much of the cool shit as he does sometimes? No. But we get to enjoy it and be passionate about it. And that keeps us going here. I think Kross wants that as well, but it really comes down to what his intentions are.
Yeah.
And for those who are, poo-pooing all over Kross as a person or as whatever, like they did something right. They did something right to have, almost 200 people listening to our asses talk about it. And all week we've been talking about the Kross stuff, and all week we've seen growth on our channel, not only because we're good at what we do, but also like there's something to the fact that he has grown his popularity.
People have a myopic view, hopefully I'm using that word correctly, of, if you're not like The Rock in Hollywood, then you haven't done anything. Danny Limelight has steady work in Hollywood. You might not know who Danny Limelight is. He's a former wrestler, used to be at MLW, used to be at AEW. He has steady work in maybe minor roles, maybe stunt roles, stunt coordination, things like that. But very steady work, and he seems to be doing okay with things. Like Karron Kross can get work like that. I think people just see like, oh, he's not The Rock, he's not starring in anything. Yeah, they might not be hiring Karrion Kross to play the lead bad guy in major films or anything. That doesn't mean you can't hire Karrion Kross to play a henchman in films, or you can't hire him to do stunt work on films, to be a fight coordinator on films. You know how many roles there are on movie sets?
Brother, there is a production going on down the street from where I am in Toronto, okay? I have seen dozens, if not close to 100 people filming and getting ready in this one spot. There is so much you can be doing in a film role, like you said. People don't think about this. I had this conversation with somebody else who was going on about like, oh, WWE's got to work the boys backstage because they're all going to talk to the dirt sheets. I'm like, the people you see on camera are not always the ones talking to us. The talent aren't talking to us. There are people behind the scenes. There are hundreds of people working at any of these AEW, WWE shows who are doing the work that you don't see. They're sometimes the one just talking, and they're just friends. They're just friends with people, and they just chat about work, and that shit happens. It's not this like undercover of night. This big star wrestler talks to Sean Ross Sapp. It's not. It's just not. Sometimes it's just someone at work is just like either blowing off steam or just doesn't give a shit, or they're just like, hey, this is pretty cool. Maybe you should like to know this because I like what you're doing. I like the work that you do because you don't suck at it. Media companies are leaky boats. Delayed Craps has got it right.
Yeah.
But all this to say, quit wrestling. Wrestling is stupid. Wrestling is one of those things that you can do without and make a lot more money. Because damn it, you can do okay outside of it and have a much better time with your mental health.
Yeah.
And by the way, King of the North, it's fine that you don't like it, but also to attack people who do is a shitty thing to do. And I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying for anyone who is, like, let people be a fan of something. If you don't like him as a wrestler, sure. You know what else? I told people the same thing with Jelly Roll. You don't like what Jelly Roll's doing and you're already pissing all over it. Go take a piss break. Go get a snack. Go do whatever. This is your opportunity to get up and enjoy a minute of non-wrestling content. You'll survive. Just let people have their favorites. It's okay.
Look, I don't get Kross. I don't. I can fully admit that. All the lore stuff he tries to do isn't for me because it's not for me because it's in his head. And again, I respect that he wants to that he wants to do that. I think there is value in that. And like I said, I understand why he does that, because if you're not going to sink your teeth into it, then you can't expect other people to sink their teeth into it. And you can't expect anything to come out of it if you don't do anything off of it either. It's just like, okay, well, I'm just having matches. I win, I lose, I go home. What's next? There's no connectivity here. His matches don't hit for me. Like, but he's getting reactions. I can't deny that. It hits with people. People are connected to him. He gets reactions. Might not be for me. Might not have to love everything he does. I like him as a person. I'll say that over and over again. I think he's great in interviews. I think the documentary was really good. He seems like a personable, nice guy. Clearly something connects. Clearly something connects with him and the audience. And look, good on him. Good on him that he's done that. Because you know what? A lot of people can't do that. And it ain't like he's got a catchphrase that got over.
TikTok.
Yeah, that didn't get over. None of that actually got over. You know, it's not like he's got like he's got a cool entrance, but it's not like an entrance like you get hype to. You know, it's not like the music hits and it's like, oh hell yeah, like let's go with this music. This is good pro wrestling music here. Like he got over just honestly, I think because he just became a personable person and became available online and people enjoyed that about him. So, yeah, good on him when it comes to that.
And again, he is a handsome son of a bitch. Do not sell that short. He's different from the R-Truth story because Truth had years of a character in the presentation in WWE. I know people feel a certain way about how he's been portrayed now and how everything is played out, and I understand, but it's not the same as R-Truth. Truth was a different situation than what Kross might be dealing with. Kross has recently found a modicum of success in WWE and amongst fans. And whatever it is that did it is what people are clamoring for. And listen, he said it in the documentary. He's like, there are people out there who went to bat for me publicly, who have done it privately, but it's a whole different beast when you do it in public. And feel how you will about, you know, Paul Heyman saying he's like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think people saw that and completely misinterpreted based on only reading the headline. Paul was right in the way that he was presenting the argument. When Stone, and it's in the documentary too, the full conversation of what the full transcript. And the idea is that Austin was huge, but he wasn't getting pushed by anybody in WWE until fans were buying up all the merchandise. Fans were clamoring for him. Fans were cheering for him. Fans were ravenous for him, but they weren't doing shit for him. And then all of a sudden they saw, oh, maybe there is an opportunity here. Maybe we should be doing this. And they gave him the ball and he ran with it. Austin was a really strange case as well, just because of how brightly and how short that flame lit. But the idea here wasn't that he's going to be the next Stone Cold. I don't think that Paul was saying that. I think he was saying you're seeing a huge influx of popularity for Kross than like the likes of which you saw for Stone Cold when he was on the ascent. And that was the point he was trying to make. Not that Kross is the next Stone Cold. And by the way, I've said it before and I will say it again. You really want to fix all this Kross stuff. You get Kross and Scarlett to host the Weekend in the Weeds on this channel. Don't care what we pay them. I'd rather not, because you know I'd like to make the money first. But that's it. And then we have Macklin and Deanna. If we can get, that's perfect. We get the couples on the weekends. Oh, game over, man. Be the best show in wrestling. We got you. We know what we want.
That's always a good pitch. Hey, please do this
for free.
Yeah.
We're gonna build this together, is what you say. We're gonna make thousandaires out of you.
Cross the line shirts will sell. Honestly, he's gonna go TNA and cross the line. Yeah.
Oh, with the big K, like just over top of it.
Yeah.
That would do great.
Yeah.
By the way, a 24-hour Paul London Squirrel stream would make some money.
We get Paul back on. Fightland's coming up. I'm sure we'll have some MLW guests in the coming weeks as they build towards their Fightland show.
Do you think we can get Paul London to get a small cage, put a bunch of squirrels inside, and call it his own personal Squirrel Fightland. Probably asking questions about it.
We don't want to like announce squirrel fighting on this show.
What? It's a Squirrel Fight Club.
No. The animals do not need to do this. Stop.
It's the Call of the Wild, Jeremy Lamberts.
I don't condone squirrel fighting, all right?
Oh, King Potato making the joke I made about why he can't be king of the ring. Why King Karrion Kross could not exist when people were pushing for that.
Yeah.
That was my favorite joke that flew over many heads.
Yeah, we can't do that. We can't condone squirrel fighting, and we can't do King Karrion Kross. Can't do either of those things.
Not with that idea. Could be better. Do better, Jeremy. Squirrel fight would be nuts. I see what you did there. Let's hit a couple super chats. Bob saying Brock will be on whatever the winning team. He loves being, quote, number one, and that will, quote, piss people off. My God, Bob, thank you for that. And Bog saying Kross has something, but Kross has something, but a show has to be surrounding him, protecting him, and investing time in him. I guess that may not be the amount of chips WWE wants to put in the pot with him. I think that's fair. I don't necessarily think that Kross needs to be the circular point of any story. I think he's good when you give him an opportunity and you let him run with it from a creative standpoint. That's kind of what's worked for the last little while. The matches itself, yeah, feel how you feel, but the storytelling, he's done a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs to be a big focal point on the shows.
That's the other thing too. I wonder if people really think that this push people are making for Kross is like people pushing for him to be the center point of a show, the landmark of a show. I don't think people, I mean, maybe some people are, but I can tell you from us, like that's not how you and I would use him. He's a perfectly serviceable character the way that he is. He's uplifting other people while being a bad guy who pushes people up. Like, that's okay. You need those characters.
Yeah, he's a good mid-card guy who can work up to the upper mid-card. And if the investment's there, I think he can be a serviceable main event type guy. I'm not saying he should win the title or anything. I'm not saying he should have a prolonged program or anything. But you need bad guys. This company has a bad guy problem. Like they're not good when it comes to bad guys.
Oh, we'll get into that.
They got Drew, who's very good. And they got Drew, who's very good. Like Seth is all over the place. I think when Heyman does the talking, they're fine. In Bronson and Braun are obviously really strong heaters. There's not a ton of like really strong mid-card bad guys for this company. They're just, and he said it himself. He's like, I don't need to be Goldberg winning every single match and all this stuff. Like I just need to, be on the show and do my role. Like that's it. Like, yeah. A good mid-card bad guy can go and do good things. Like, because they don't have a babyface problem. That's the thing. Babyfaces, they're fine on. They got a ton of babyfaces. So you need a strong bad guy like Kross who can work with these babyfaces. He's not there. I think he'll be back. I think there's a strong possibility this whole thing was a work. What it accomplishes, nothing to me. Like, to me, doing this whole thing just to bring him back, just to say, see, we listen to the fans, accomplishes nothing, because you could have done we listen to the fans by just putting him on television and re-signing him. You didn't have to do this whole song and dance to get there.
it's a make good for what happened with Truth.
Because the Truth thing sucks.
No. Yeah, this is the point though. With the Truth thing, never once did they come out until way afterwards and say we listened to the fans. They never openly were like, we listened to you fans and we brought him back. It took them like friggin' forever to get to that point. This time they're like, oh, now we have another chance to do it. Let's do it. And this time we're going to say it right away so that we capitalize on the goodwill. And we're going to say, we did it for the fans because we listened to you. Now let's get ready to suck it. And that's going to be it. And then producer credits and let's go home.
The Truth thing sucks because this company just doesn't have an idea. You know what I mean? They brought back Truth and like, oh, it's all part of the show. And then Friday, what do we see? He's just R-Truth again because John Cena is John Cena again. So it's like, we're just comedy R-Truth again. That whole cut your hair, I'm driving now, I'm Ron Killings. Just scrap that out the window. Just like they dropped this heel turn with Cena, they're just dropping serious R-Truth because they didn't have a plan to bring him back.
Nope.
They brought him back because of the We Want Truth chants. They said, here, look at us. You're welcome. We listen to you, even though it's all part of the show. But they didn't have an actual plan with Truth. And they thought it was easier to just make him comedy Truth again because he's very good at that role, then try to do something sustainable with Ron Killings, heel Ron Killings, whatever that was going to look like. And I don't know what that was going to look like. It didn't even have to be a heel, just serious Ron Killings. I don't know what that was going to look like. But they really didn't know what it was going to look like. And you knew they didn't know what it was going to look like. Because what happened when he got his rematch with Cena on that SmackDown? DQ finish.
Let's go.
And then Cena's version of the pipe bomb. And then Truth was never seen again in that picture. He started doing stuff with Alistair and Damian Priest. And he was just side fodder for those two. Because that was the real feud. Alistair and Priest. Nothing to do with Truth. You got your here, damn, he's back. Don't ask further questions.
But by the way, we called Brock and he's home now. Yep.
I don't think they have a plan with Kross either. Because I think if they had a plan with him, they would have actually done something with him. I think if they bring him back off of this and they do the whole, we listened, you want Kross, you got Kross, they don't have a follow-up to that. I would like to think they do if you're going to do all this shit, but where's the evidence that they have any follow-up? As SP3 says, moment merchants. That's what they are. You get your moment of Kross's back. What's next? I don't know. No idea. Well, we need to figure out the next moment. We'll figure out the next moment as the weeks progress and we can just get to a moment. That's all. We don't need to go anything after that. There's no proof that they have a plan when it comes to this stuff. Absolutely none.
So when is the next moment? Is it Kross coming back at Clash in Paris? Is that a moment? Does that matter?
Maybe. It feels like he'll probably get a good reaction in Paris. What's that gonna be? Who's he gonna attack? I don't know.
Sami Zayn again. Sami Zayn in there in the ring, cutting a promo in French, and then all of a sudden, doom, 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 and the crowd goes, who knows? Who knows?
That's over though. Like,
oh, I agree. But you know, if you're gonna get the heat, brother, you got to get the French speaker doing the French promo in France. Who else is French speaking who could be doing that promo? Cody Rhodes is in the ring butchering the French language after winning.
Vincent Van Gogh.
Yeah, that's where you need. I see. This is where I miss Christian. I wish Paris was where they were doing. I wish this show was an AEW show, so that I could have Cope and Christian in the ring, and one of them saying, "How about you, Vincent Van Gogh? Fuck yourself," and then the crowd goes wild. See, that's it. Oh, anyway, the Kross stuff is interesting. If he comes back, people are going to say it's a work. If he doesn't come back, then people are going to say it's a shoot. Maybe he does both. Maybe he's going to work a dual contract. Who knows? I don't know. But there's a lot going on. And a lot of people wondering what this is.
My takeaway from all of this is don't get over.
It's true. And also, don't get over when you're not supposed to get over, because then they get angry at you for getting over.
Don't get over. Because you get over.
Go ahead.
And nothing good comes of it. Just nothing good. Jey Uso got a 6-month title reign that everyone
6 weeks. We should hope for 6 months.
Oh, sorry. Jey Uso got a 6-week title reign that everyone thought was the worst title reign of all time, and he never should have gotten the title. Truth is just back to being a comedy character. LA Knight couldn't get on the show for months at a time. Just don't get over, folks. Just don't do it.
And when you do get over, well, just point to your last good match. Don't get over. Just do what you're supposed to, and hope you get rich. That's really what it comes down to, by the way. It's like, do all these people come back? Yes. Do they get paid a lot of money? Yes. Creatively, are they fulfilled? Next question. We got a super chat from Love Dogs Avery saying, "This is my opinion on Kross. I think he is a very good promo. He is not a good wrestler, and I think he's he's not a good wrestler, and I think he's a terrible wrestler." This is contradictory. Sorry, just trying to put this together. Who was given every opportunity.
Contradictory?
I mean, he's not a good wrestler, and I think he's. Oh, okay. So you're saying, well, I mean, it's you're just kind of making it worse. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He was given every opportunity and failed in the ring every single time. And again, this is, you said it yourself. That's your opinion. Not everyone is going to agree with that opinion. And if he doesn't yuck your yum, all right, cool. Don't take it away from someone else. That's right. You just gotta let these wrestlers try to wrestle. Because I sure shit ain't. I don't have the pencil, and neither do you, despite your better option.
I should have all the pencils, but what can you do?
Here we are.
Look, if you don't like Kross, that's fine. I can get it. And I'm not gonna rehash what I said, but clearly there is a large and vocal section of the audience that does like Kross. Something is hitting with him. And if you were going to say, we listen to the audience, we had a focus group every single night, the WWE Universe is the biggest part of our show, and then you're not going to utilize the people who are getting good reactions, your company lies. And your company should not be taken serious with these things. You're telling the wrestlers it does not matter if you get a reaction, because we have marked who we want to put in these spots. And even though we say we listen to the audience and the audience dictates what we do, that's not true. We dictate to the audience who we're going to push, and they're going to cheer or they're going to boo those people. But it's because we told them to, not because they have an actual voice in this. And if they don't want to cheer or boo these people, it doesn't matter. We're going to continue to utilize these people in these spots, because that's who we've put down on our whiteboard and in our notebook with our 50 writers to determine all of these things.
Where's Bad Bunny, though?
I think that philosophy is bullshit, because if you truly listen to your audience, they're telling you who they want to see. If you're not going to put those people on television, okay, you're making your own decisions in that case. But then don't expect me to care what you actually put on television, because that's not who I want to see. That's not who the majority of the audience wants to see.
Once again, folks, if you're donating super chats this week, all week, the super chats, all of them are going to the Canadian Cancer Society in support of C4 and their Fighting Back campaign. They've been running the show for the last, oh God, is it 15 years? It's been too long. Sorry, it's somewhere. But they've been doing it for far too long because cancer is something that affects everyone.
Too long, not long enough.
They've had to do it. It sucks that they've had to do it. All right. That's my point. Nobody wants to have to do this show, but our show and that show, but for different reasons. Regardless, every super chat you send, the money for this week, all the way Monday through Friday, the total is going to go right to the Canadian Cancer Society and the Fighting Back campaign. There is the longest match ever. We're aware that started over on Twitch. We'll be watching that a little bit later, just on our own time. But we did want to just remind everyone, if you're here and you're wanting to submit and support, you can submit to us too. But you want to submit a super chat, any amount, get your question statement read on the air, and the money goes to the Canadian Cancer Society this week. Love Dog Avery says, I feel bad for Sammy. He wasted months trying to get a good match out of this guy. I thought that the Crown Jewel match was fine. I didn't think it was the best thing ever. I don't think the SummerSlam match was very good. You and I have talked about it. But I think that Sammy and Kross did a pretty good job getting the story out about Sammy's Sammy needed something new. He needed a new bad guy to talk to. And I think Kross did well for that particular one. So
but it didn't mean anything.
In the end, it didn't. They didn't do anything once he won. That's kind of the annoying part. He just kind of left and then they didn't talk about it again.
It didn't mean anything. And that's where, again, you want to create this lore in your head. I don't blame you for doing that. But this is honestly how they neuter wrestlers. Is they make this stuff meaningless. Because they had something with Kross. They had a story. And then by the end of it, you told fans none of it mattered. None of it meant anything. Everything we'd been building, everything we'd been doing for the last 2 to 3 months didn't actually have an effect on the television show. And that's how you get people to stop caring. That's how you get people to stop caring about a guy they got behind. And if that was their goal, to make people stop caring about Kross, they might have accomplished that. Because I didn't care previously, because they'd been telling you for years that what he's doing doesn't actually matter. But then they invested some real TV time into him. And then at the end of it, they told you, yeah, didn't actually matter. Kross is just off TV. Sami Zayn's still just Sami Zayn and having good matches and going about his business like nothing changed. Okay. It was a pointless feud. And if their goal was to make Kross feel pointless on the way out of his company, mission accomplished.
Exactly. Love Doc saying, if Kross was a good wrestler, I would agree. Hey, man, again, it's subjective entertainment. If you don't like what they're doing in the ring, that's up to you. That's your deal. Tenruz is saying, too much Kross and UFC talk on the timeline for my liking. Yeah, UFC got a new deal. Good for them. They bent the knee to Paramount, so that's money.
They got $1 billion. I don't know who really bent the
Paramount
knee.
Bent the knee to somebody else who then, Paramount's just ready to spend a lot of money for needless shit. I can't wait for I do hope that Late Show takes him to task. I hope Colbert goes off on this, but that's just me. I'm not a UFC guy. Never have been. Never will be. But sure, people are into it because it's UFC. They're huge and they're going to dominate the news cycle for the better part of the morning. Okay.
And they're saying pay-per-view's dead, which is very funny. Pay-per-view's dead.
Get ready to pay extra money for your Paramount Plus subscription starting very soon.
Well, sure, but you don't have to pay extra for the UFC pay-per-views like it was with ESPN, because ESPN was pay $10 and then pay $80 for the UFC events on top of that. Now it's just whatever your Paramount Plus subscription costs. Yeah, it's going to go up because all these services go up, but it's not going to be your subscription service plus 80. It's just going to be your subscription service. So it's better for the fans if you have Paramount Plus, which I do. And like, will I watch the shows? I'll watch the fights that interest me, which there aren't a ton of them. There's not a ton of fights that interest me if when they're on, but when they are, yeah, I'll tune them on.
Just watching two people, it's not my thing. Love Dogs adding in. Sorry for being negative. I can't believe this guy is being talked about this much. Hey, if he's not for you, that's fine. But you got to understand that he is for some people, and he's dominating a discourse positively in a lot of ways. If you don't like that, that's okay. You just got to just take a step back. Take a step back, and that'll be that. What about the ITW streaming rights? Hey, we're for sale. If we get bought out, we will absolutely take the money, as long as it's for not certain places. Got to do it within reason, right?
No, just give us money.
Just give us the money. That's true. Yeah. Live Glass saying for the cause. The irony of me reading super chats that are now being donated to charity while I say give us the money. It's a little different. It's a little different. Thank you, Live Glass. Appreciate you. And Sean Fletcher saying, wanted to send this for a good cause. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you too, Sean. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And for everyone, it's a good conversation to have. And I think a lot of people need to just remember a couple of things. If it ain't for you, you'll find something else that is. That's always what it comes down to. If you ain't onto YouTube, then you're going to go on to watch something else. If you're not onto this wrestler, you'll find another one. There's always somebody out there who makes you very excited to watch wrestling. That's it. And if not, go take a piss. Go get some popcorn. Go do something else. You'll be okay for 6.5 minutes. Zeno R saying Joel doesn't watch two people fight, but watches wrestling. It's different. It's fake. I can deal with that. I just don't want to watch people beat each other up for realsies. Doesn't do it for me. But
there's
hey,
no stories in the UFC.
I mean, they had to fake that whole thing. They had to make those, manufacture goodwill and stories in the UFC.
Some of the stuff was manufactured. Now they're legitimately. I guess there's rivalries, but I don't pay enough attention to it to know what's like a real rivalry and what's done all for show at this point. Now I just assume it's all for show because it's all pro wrestling, so sure.
Yep, that's right. And Avery adding in, love our dogs, people. Absolutely. Love your pets. Help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Great Bob Barker right there. He was British, right?
I don't think so.
I'm sick. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay. SmackDown was terrible. Jeremy, do you think that Nick Aldis had a plan for SmackDown before he added 3 random ass matches in the middle of SmackDown? Was he just gonna let John Cena talk until something happened? That's always my favorite trope when it comes to wrestling. It's like, well, what was the GM going to do before they made that main event match? And what was he gonna do before all those other matches were made backstage?
He had standby matches, it's fine.
It's become this amazing. We're back to 2019. It's just bring back Raw Underground. Let's go.
I'm sick of these fucking shows ending in a DQ.
Love it.
I'm over it.
I mean, if you didn't see it happening on Friday, I got a bridge to sell you.
It's so lazy. It's such you want to talk about not listening to your audience. Like, it's such a slap in the face to the audience to do this every single show. This isn't a one-off thing where they just did this one time in this one match, and it's been months since they've done it. They do this 2 times a week between their 3 shows. NXT, at least sometimes you'll get a clean finish in the main event. You got one with Soul and Tatum this past week.
He got a little weirdness to get there, but yes.
Sure, they do interference in every match.
Yeah,
the interference stuff I've just accepted. At least you're giving me a clean finish. Or not clean, but you're giving me a damn finish on those shows. Every show, DQ in the main event. Don't do that match in the main event then. If you can't book a fucking finish for your main event match, don't give me that match in the main event. Do it earlier in the show. I don't care. I am tired of these main events ending in a DQ. Because there's no point in watching them. There's no investment in them if you're just going to wait around for your DQ finish. It's every week nowadays. It sucks. Raw has been, what do we have? We had one this week. We had one last week. Oh, we had 4 straight weeks? 3 straight weeks?
3 straight weeks. And tonight we'll make 4, especially if that women's world title match is main event.
Yeah, probably. I'd like to say that Naomi could just beat EO and it'd be fine because Naomi's got to face Vacker. But yeah, Rhea will probably run in and cause a DQ for reasons, and then Vacker will come on, and then I don't know. It's just bullshit.
It's very, very silly.
These interferences and these DQ finishes. We're going on a month for Raw. The last clean finish was the gauntlet match. That was July 14th.
Even that had some schmaz.
But we got a finish. I know.
It was because the only reason they did is because they called it a no DQ match in a
Fine, do your triple threat matches to where we get a clean finish. I don't care. I don't care if you got to have people run in at this point. Just give me a clean finish. I'm tired of these DQ finishes every single week.
I fully agree with you. It's hilarious just to be like, oh, we're doing this tag team match tonight on SmackDown. And I'm like, no, you're not. At least you're going to do it, but it's not going to end with anyone, getting a 3 count or a submission victory. You could have. There's a whole other can of worms of a SmackDown that we'll get into, but it looks like Naomi and Io Sky, if they're the main event, that'll be a match that doesn't have a clean finish. They might have Naomi pin Io Sky with like Rhea getting involved in some way and Stephanie Vaquer. Like there will be some shenanigans and maybe Naomi sneaks away with the victory, just like she did at SummerSlam. But it's still not good. But if they do a non-finish, it's gonna make for Tuesday. Y'all are gonna have fun on that show.
I'm beat down by it. It's not even that fun.
It's fine. SB3 will do it.
It's just, hey, another DQ finish. Great. Awesome. Cool. Let's move on.
But you can't move on because then you got to do the PLE.
Yeah, the PLE with a bunch of interference. Okay.
But they'll be in France and cheering, Jeremy. They'll be really excited.
Yeah.
Tinder's sends a super chat saying Tyrese Haliburton on Self-Made scared me how drone he was. But the man's a fan. The man's always called himself a WWE fan. The man literally tuned out during the playoffs except for WWE news. He specifically didn't say wrestling news. He said WWE news. Shouldn't shock anybody that Tyrese is a big WWE fan specifically. You listened to the entirety of that conversation.
Did I?
You told me you did, I thought.
Why are you just like saying things that aren't true?
Did you not?
No.
How much of it did you listen to? I thought you said you did with the Kross stuff too.
No, I didn't say anything about Tyrese Haliburton. I listened to the Kross thing that was going on at roughly the same time. I was working on the Kross articles. I didn't.
You should have just separated your audio and had one going and one the other. Did you freeze right at the same moment that I made that joke? You did.
I did what?
Now you're back. You froze right at the moment where I said, did you pan your audio left and right? Because I did a deadpan joke and then all of a sudden it was just dead air and I was like, damn it.
Oh.
Well, you're back.
All right. As I was saying, I didn't listen to a second of it because I was working on Karrion Kross articles. Do you listen to what I say at all, Joel?
Who?
Okay.
It should be no surprise to anyone that Tyrese Haliburton's a big WWE fan. That's what I'm getting at. You listen to everything. That's all.
Okay. I didn't listen to this. I'm sure I will at some point, but I've seen this stuff going around. I didn't listen.
Okay.
Please don't just say that I did when I didn't.
Well, I mean, it was safe to assume that the guy who watches a shit ton of basketball would have watched the wrestling basketball crossover.
Yeah, I would have loved to. I was working on the Karron Kross stuff.
Okay, that's fine. I was wrong in this case. It happens.
Usually the hashtag Joel is wrong.
Donate a super chat and give to the Canadian Cancer Society instead. What else happened on SmackDown? Other than no DQ, other than DQ finishes. Alexa's birthday, baby.
Yeah, that was a fun segment.
Got to get a cake. Got to put a cake. Got to put a cake in the ring and let Chelsea go into the cake. That's all you got to do.
They got a big pop in this household. The kids are watching wrestling with me on Friday, and when Chelsea went into the cake, yeah, just a huge laugh out of the children. So I think they're Chelsea Green fans now.
I could understand that.
Yeah.
I would also be a Chelsea Green fan if I was a child. I mean, also in general. But, you know, Charlotte and Alexa winning the tag titles, they're doing what they're doing. People like Charlotte now. And this is like the most real we've seen Charlotte in a minute. It's good. And now you put both of them, you put them on both shows, technically all three if they go over to NXT. And they're two big stars in the women's division. So why not have Charlotte and Alexa involved? I just don't know what their next, what the next feud is going to be for those tag titles other than maybe Secret Hervis.
That doesn't scream like a feud.
Nope. They should have the Elegances from TNA face against Charlotte and Alexa. The size is about the same. I've talked about this. Have you seen Heather by Elegance? Heather Reckless?
I mean, I watched the show.
She's like 4'9". She is tiny.
Yeah.
And then Maggie Lee, she's like a legitimate 5'9", 5'10". They should do that. They should have those two face off because of the size differentials. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, they don't have a plan with these tag team titles.
They're
just going to do stuff. They're going to do segments together. I think some of it will be good. Some of it won't be that good. You know what turned me off about this segment on Friday is this is another point of some stuff matters and some stuff doesn't. Because if you watch the SummerSlam post show, which I realize not everyone watches the post show, but if you watch that, they said they were friends and they hugged each other. So the stuff that they were doing on SmackDown was just like, why? What is this? I've already seen you hug. I've already seen you say you're friends and everything. I get it. Not everyone watches the post show. But then just don't tell me certain stuff matters and certain stuff doesn't. Guess if it's only contained to the television show, that's all we're supposed to care about? All right, fine. I consume things a little bit differently. I know things are a little bit different. I saw all of this. Oh, it's just... That's why that segment was just awkward to me. I was like, I've already seen them hug. I've already seen them say they're friends. I don't need this whole, will they hug? Oh, like they did that.
Yeah, they did the hug. Well, yeah, we should be celebrating the hug and moving on from that. Yeah. Can't kiss though. That would feel a little weird. Can't chant for them to kiss. You got to chant for, Cena and Cody to kiss. That's the way you should do it. But
okay,
can't do that.
Okay. I don't think anybody's chanting for them to kiss.
Well, it's not doing it right. Kate sent a super chat saying, "I've cancer. Cancel Joel Gacy. AEW hayer. Hey EW big fan." Thank you, Kate. Appreciate you. The John Cena opening promo, where John Cena comes out, makes absolutely no reference to the fact that he lost the title, makes no reference to the fact that he cares that he lost the title, and makes Cody feel like he's secondary to the entirety of winning the world champion, which he's already felt like because they did the Brock return and made Cody feel less than for winning what is supposed to be their main world championship. This wasn't for me. John Cena just being like, oh, this was one thing that I noticed. People were like, why is he having a match on SmackDown? He's only got so many dates left. This is, by all accounts, the last Canadian date on John Cena's retirement run. So it felt like they wanted to. What? This is the last Canadian date.
No, I know.
Yeah. So they wanted to do a Montreal match.
My face was not for that. It was for, why do you care that they did a match here when he was already... It's not like this takes away from anything. He was already announced for this show. People
got weird about that. But the point was they were going to do the match because it's Montreal. It's his last night in Canada as a WWE wrestler.
Right. This doesn't take away from anything. It was, he has this many appearances left. He doesn't have this many matches left. Theoretically, on every appearance he has left, he could wrestle. Will he? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't expect it. But it's not like this wasted an appearance. He's already announced for the show. You got more John Cena on this show. You would think fans would be happy about that. But it doesn't do anything of like, oh, why did you do a match here? He only has this many appearances left. He was already announced for the show. He already did his appearance. He didn't have to wrestle. I'm sure most people didn't expect him to wrestle. It's cool that he did. Just a weird complaint to have.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's why I'm putting it out there. It's because of where they were. But the whole crux of the opening segment was how much the WWE Championship meant literally nothing to John Cena. I get the last 5 months were a gas leak, but you could at least reference the point that you were a champion and you broke your record. You broke the record, and instead you're just like, I'm here. Do the entrance. Do the gimmick, and that's it. And then out comes Mr. Humble, and we're off to the races. And Cody looks like a big old bitch. I didn't like that part.
They don't care. They're
Cena's
just happy.
Also never cared, by the way. When he loses the title, all of his promos were always like, on to the next one. And people were like, wait a minute, someone else won last night.
That was actually on brand for Cena.
It didn't need to be in his last year. We're trying to wipe the slate clean, not retcon everything.
That's what they're doing. They're legitimately trying to tell you that this last 5 months didn't mean anything. And if you didn't get it with this promo, maybe you got it with the R-Truth segment. They are trying to tell you that it meant nothing these last 5 months. They want you to completely forget about that whole heel turn. They might give him another title reign and call that 17 and legit really act like 17 didn't happen. John Cena has won his 17th world championship. Didn't he do that at WrestleMania? No. That didn't count. I wouldn't be shocked if they do that, honestly.
That would actually be very funny if they did.
It would not shock me at all if they do that.
I mean, I was there. I was at WrestleMania, and I was like, yep, this is a thing that happened. I did see it from way up top in the 700 level. It did exist. But instead, I've been told it doesn't. They flashed the thing in my eyes.
Yeah.
And said, nope, don't worry about it, bro. And then he goes to the back and he does the thing like you mentioned with Truth, where he basically gaslights Truth into saying it was a gas leak year. And Truth is like, okay, but he's still giving the face. This is why there's a little bit of maybe hope, but it's very, 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 very minuscule that they might try to do something with Truth being a little perplexed about it. And that's the thing. I agree with you. I'm trying to give myself a little maybe, but I really do think they're just gonna have Truth come out and do his, singing and dancing thing, and that'll be that. And then just retcon the whole 5 months as if it never existed.
Yeah, they're not doing anything with Truth. He's just comedy R-Truth again. I'm driving now, Ron Killings.
He drove off a cliff.
Hope y'all enjoyed that for the little that it lasted and the little television time it got. He drove back to his home planet. He ain't coming back.
I love the idea. He drove off to his home planet, got himself a new look, and he's just coming back.
Yeah, don't expect Ron Killings. You're getting R-Truth. And you'll like it, and the fans will like it. But yeah, this is what we wanted anyway. We want truth. Great. We're just going to pretend that whole Ron Killings thing didn't happen.
I mean, the stuff with Aleister Black, he wasn't a heel for that either.
He was side fodder for Black and Priest.
Right. Exactly, like you said that earlier. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't babyface. He wasn't really heel. He was just, no man is ever truly good. No man is ever truly evil.
No, you're going to get gimmick infringements now.
But it's because they didn't have a plan for him, for any of that. They had a moment when he returned. They had a moment when he cut his hair. And they had no idea what was next. Because Truth was the one who was like, hey, I want to cut my hair. Triple H is like, okay, cool. That's a great thing. But that's not what we want to do. That's not what we foresaw. So if you want to go do it, great. We'll get a lot of views off of that. We'll get a lot of people talking off of that. Well, how do we follow up? Well, I don't know. We didn't think he'd be back in the company. So we definitely didn't think he was going to cut his hair. Just put him with Priest and Black for a little bit. He beat Aleister Black. Remember that?
Yeah.
He beat him like 2 minutes with a roll-off.
Yep. That's how you do it.
They didn't have a plan with any of this. Somebody pitched a cool moment. It was like, all right, moment. Great. They did their moment, and they don't know what's next.
Tell you what's next, a nap for me. Let's round out the Raw card. We talked about the Women's World Championship match, Naomi and Io Sky. This could be the main event, and if it is, I expect DQ finish.
I swear if they do a DQ finish.
Yep. Maxine
if
Dupree,
they go 4 straight weeks with a DQ finish, I'm not reviewing Raw the next week. I'm not talking about Raw at all. This episode, if this episode ends with a DQ, no Raw review tomorrow. I don't know what we'll do otherwise. We got basketball to talk about, I'm sure, SP3 and I. We'll talk about the challenge. I'm not talking about Raw if they do another DQ finish in the main event. And unlike Joel Pearl, I will stick to my word.
Hey, man, what's he saying fuck me for?
If SP3 wants to talk about Raw, fine. The most you're getting out of me for Raw review tomorrow, if this show ends in a DQ, is okay. Moving on. That's it.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch have a match. You think Low-Key Legend's going to be involved in this?
Oh, Becky's going to win. I hope Maxine has a good showing. I was there for that Rhea Ripley match, which I'm pretty sure was like her last televised singles match, and that was well over a year ago. That match wasn't very good, and it felt bad for Maxine, but it just wasn't very good. You know, she needs a good showing here. I know she's putting in work. I hope she can have a solid showing against Becky.
Yeah, she's been working on main event. She's part of the 20-woman battle royal. I'm just looking at her cage match. She's done a speed title match. Other than that, yeah, the tag title gauntlet before WrestleMania. That's about it. That's it. She's in the Rumble. But yeah, she hasn't done much in terms of singles competition on main television, Raw and SmackDown. So that'll be her tonight. We'll see. This is I wouldn't call this make or break, but I'm sure certain eyes will be looking at her and being like, do we want to keep pushing her as a wrestler? We'll see. Sami Zayn and Rusev, I'm sure will end in a DQ once Rusev's opponent, Sheamus, gets involved.
Yeah, it might end in a DQ. As long as it's on the main event, fine. You want to do a DQ earlier in the show? Do one earlier in the show. Just don't do it in the main event.
And then Karrion Kross comes back, and he evens up the odds, and everyone beats down Sami Zayn.
If Kross returns here, cool work, brother.
Quebec City, hell of a place to do it. And finally, CM Punk opens the show, which I'm sure will be met with a Vision interference or a Vision cut-in from Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and all those guys. Braun and Bronson.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess CM Punk when he does his promo. Is Roman on the show? He hasn't been announced for the show.
He hasn't been announced for it. I know he's doing next week in Philadelphia.
Okay. All right.
But
Then I wouldn't expect him on this show. I mean, if he shows up, cool. I wouldn't expect him on this show because they did the tsunami thing, so that kind of took him out. I assume Punk issues some type of challenge for Paris on August 31st.
First.
30
31st.
31st.
Do you want to? Is this a tooth thing? Do you have to get checked out by a dentist?
No, you didn't see the graphic?
Oh, did they do that?
Yeah, they put August 31 TH.
Oh, no, this has happened far too often. Oh, 31st.
Yeah, 31st.
Just a new way of doing it. Awful. I didn't see that. But this happened way too many times.
Thank you to people who in the chat who got that.
Kate saying, boy, it's great to be alive in a city with a hockey team. They don't even have a hockey team in Quebec.
They're in Quebec. Yeah.
They're in Quebec. There is a QMJHL team, I think.
He'll be like, Quebec deserves a hockey team, but then he'll also act like he's a Patrick Waugh fan, but also...
Talk about the Nordiques. That's all he's going to do. Are you back?
Yeah, maybe.
Here you go. You are back. Yeah, I'll talk about the Quebec Ramparts.
Did Patrick Waugh used to own that team or coach that team?
I think he coached it.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll probably make some Patrick Waugh reference because he loves Patrick Waugh, and even though he also wants to praise Detroit and everything. Yeah.
It's going to be great to be alive in city where the Nordiques used to play.
Yeah, he coached the Quebec team for a long time.
Yeah, long time. He went until 2023, I think, and then said, I'm done.
Well, he had that gap year or gap years.
He went back up to the NHL?
Yeah, where he coached the Avs for a little bit. I mean, now he's back in the NHL coaching the Islanders. So.
Well, regardless, CM Punk is on the show, so he's got to do his... Who told him that this was we talked about this a long time ago when he came back, that this was his new gimmick. Because Cody does the what do you want to talk about? And somebody told him, like, you got to have an introduction. And someone told him that this CM Punk, this is your introduction. How does it feel to be alive in city and town tonight? It's like, you're not a rock and roll star. You're a guy. Just be like, what's up, Pittsburgh? That's all you need to do. You know?
Why does he have to do any?
He doesn't. This is the whole, like, every week someone had to come out and be like, welcome to Monday Night Raw. And it's like, well, no, not every time. You don't have anyone come out and be like, welcome to TNA Impact. Welcome to AEW Dynamite. Like, the announcers do that. You don't need a wrestler. It's not SNL. But they think they're SNL because that's what Vince always thought Raw and WWE were. He always thought it was SNL because it was a variety show. It's fine. Stupid. How does it feel to be alive on this show?
Do you think because he's opening the show, do you think they'll show him like driving in? Remember that when they would do that all the time and he couldn't park well and he'd like leave his door open and stuff?
Throw the keys in the trash.
Yeah.
I'll get these later.
Do you think they'll do that whole bit again?
No, maybe. I'd like to see it because I think it's funny.
It is very funny.
Is he? Yeah, he's pretty pissed off because last week of everything.
He's very pissed off.
You know what? He should peel in. He should peel into the arena, go into and walk through Gorilla, storm through Gorilla. Oh, I'm so angry. I'm CM Punk, and throw his keys at Triple H. Just be like, oh, park this car for me. And Paul's just like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I love working with you. And then we out to the races.
They love the whole like, oh, we're in Quebec. Show like superstar entrances. Naomi, she's gonna be defending. Io Sky, she's gonna be challenging. Becky Lynch, the Intercontinental Champion, she's gonna be Maxine Dupree, biggest match worker. And all of a sudden you see CM Punk pull in. Who can be like, they're showing like their entrance and the person's gotta like duck out of the way so Punk doesn't hit them with their car. What is Rusev? He's not doing anything. Like Rusev, he's arriving for his big match against, and here comes CM Punk. And then Rusev's got to like quickly scurry away, and Punk's got to be like,
you can't do that to Rusev. I love how you froze right when I said that again.
Started to
Are you back?
freeze.
There you go. Rusev has a match tonight. You can't do that to Rusev.
No, what I was saying before my internet jobbed me out,
as per usual,
is Rusev's like, walking in and here comes, because they only show like people arriving who have like matches. They're not just gonna like show people who don't have matches. So Rusev's like walking in, here comes Punk, and then Rusev's like got to duck out of the way, and Punk goes, and then he gets out of the car, and Punk's like, sorry Miro, and then he's like, my bad, and then he walks on. People like, he said he did the thing. I see what he did there. I saw what happened there. It's fun. It's funny, Joel.
Anyway, it feels great to be in the city of Quebec.
Yeah, and then he does the whole I love Quebec gimmick, and Joe Sakic and Adam Foote.
He's going to talk about the Nordiques. He's going to get like a bunch of people behind him and be like, bring back the Deeks. Bring back the Deeks. And we're going to be like, this is not right. Nah. Go Sens go. That's all you need to know. Jeremy's back tomorrow with SP3. We'll see if they talk about Raw based on the main event outcome. If there's a DQ finish, who knows? All super chats for the week are going to the Canadian Cancer Society via the C4 Fighting Back program. That show is on Friday. I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. So go ahead. You can also, I think you can donate a super thanks on this after the fact. So if you donate a super thanks, which is effectively like a super chat comment that shows up on this stream. If you do that, same thing. The money goes towards Canadian Cancer Society. So there you go. If you're not watching live, we still got you. And also on my profiles, you've got a link to directly contribute if you so choose. Jeremy, anything you want to plug?
I didn't get to listen to the JID album more than once. I liked it my first listen. I feel like there's I bring this up because apparently Zeno Hour's rating us on today's show. You got a good rating today, Joel.
Playing injured gets 2 points.
Oh, all right. So you would have been a 6.5. That's still better than me.
I would have beat you.
I was too negative, was I?
Yeah, Well, I mean, for a lot of the WWE stuff.
I wasn't negative. I was negative toward WWE, sure.
You're supposed to be fair, balanced, and a super fan getting in it. I don't know. Just you live.
I'm being balanced. I got to do more WWE reactions. At least they might show me. TNA just doesn't use any reactions.
Did anyone watch the Fade to Black documentary?
Nobody watched it. Nobody cared enough to watch it. And it still doesn't matter because they didn't show it, and it's lame, and TNA should be ashamed of themselves. I listened to the JID album once. I gotta listen to it more because I know there's stuff that just like I didn't catch the first album. JID is lyrical to where one listen you ain't gonna catch everything on the first listen. So I gotta listen to it more. I did like it though off of the first listen. So I'm sure I'll listen to it more. It'll be in my rotation.
There you go. You have something to talk about soon.
I might be reviewing the JID album tomorrow if this dumbass WWE RAW ends in another DQ.
Oh, all right. I'm going to go take a nap. I'm done. For Jeremy Lambert, you know who I am. You know who he is because, that. So I just said his name. So he appeared. Leave a thumbs up on the video. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Ladies, gentlemen, friends of me on the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.